You ready to go? Giddy up. What is it, 8:30?
Yes, sir.
8:30, let's begin the meeting. We'll begin with pledges of allegiance. Please stand. You're right. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Good to see everyone here this morning. It is 8:30 on July the 14th. We will begin our meeting. First part of our agenda will be the public comment section, in which we ask for anyone in the audience that does want to make any public comment, has anything they want to bring forward, anything you want to discuss, pro or con, form a line right here. You have your opportunity. I observe no public comment, so we will call this one. Number 4 is consideration and approval of the minutes of the June 9, 2016 Policy Board meeting. I do need someone to make a motion to approve this, if you are happy with it.
Well, I will make that motion.
And I will accept it. I need a second on that one. I'll take the with second. We do have a motion and a second on the minutes. Do I have any discussion from council? Any public comment? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Number 5 is discussion and consideration of the MOU between the San Angelo Metropolitan Planning and City of San Angelo and any action in connection thereto. That had to be written by a lawyer. You are on, sir.
There's the word.
Yes.
Yes, sir, Mayor. This is the memo of understanding between the City of San Angelo and the Metropolitan Planning Organization for their services for payroll, and they are our fiduciary agency. There was some language that we wanted to clean up a little bit. We talked about last time. All that's been cleaned up. And unless anybody has any objections to anything in here, this is the final version.
John, you had some questions last time. Have you checked
Well,
it
I'm
to see
trying
if
to
you're
get my-
satisfied?
Trying to catch up here this morning, so I apologize. So Major, if you could just kind of highlight the last iteration.
There were only 2 issues with the last generation. One was the wording about the training issue,
Yes.
which we resolved because we figured out that there was gonna be training that we were going to need the city to go to. In fact, we ran across one right after our last meeting, and we've set that up. And then the other one was just the employees of the MPO becoming city employees instead of just being treated as city employees. And we pretty much agreed that the wording that we had was pretty much as it needed to be.
For our part, as part of the city, we're good with this. I think it covers the concern that we had from a liability standpoint, so we're good.
And you're happy with the Major?
Yes, sir.
Yes, and now I'm caught up in kind of, and specifically on the item about the planning, so.
Yeah, you had a couple of
Appreciate it.
questions
Yeah.
last time, sir.
So I
Won't you be
appreciate fine
satisfied?
tuning on that, so I moved it. We approve this.
I'll take it. Give me a second, someone.
Well, second that.
Got it from Monday. Do have a motion to approve as presented. Do have a second. Any other discussion on this? The city's happy, the MPO is happy, John's happy. Public comment on this item. And we'll call the vote. All in favor, please say aye. And opposed, nay. Let's put a unanimous vote on that one. Number 6 is a discussion and consideration of the MOU between the San Angelo Metropolitan Planning Organization and Concho Valley Transit CPTD and any action in connection thereto. Major.
Okay, this is the attachment that we left for all of you. The agreement that we're required by law to have a planning agreement between or amongst the TxDOT, the MPO, and the local public transportation provider. The one we have is way out of date. 2009, I believe it is. So we needed to refresh that. Again, we're trying to clean up, do a lot of little housekeeping and take care of things that just need to be refreshed. This was one of them. Apparently, we've got some issues with the text outside of this, but I wanted to still present it to everyone, have them look it over, see if anybody had any real heartburn with it, and also give you a chance to look at it and review it before the next board meeting, which by then we should have all the answers from TechStop.
Hopefully with the issues you were referring to, it was 11th hour thing yesterday. I didn't
Yes.
expect it to blow up like this.
Right.
We sent it through our mill yesterday. The question, we're just trying to answer one specific question: what's the proper level of signature authority for our agency for TechStop? And the answer came by kind of surprised, since I need to capture, what, Joe, 2 or 3 signatures out of
Public
Austin on this,
transportation.
apparently.
Division Director and
Yeah.
Transportation Planning Division Director.
So we'll do that, but hopefully that will be the only change to this. It may not be, but I suspect the wording on this, hopefully it's pretty sound as it is, and this is just a technical issue. We'll bring it back next week or next month, hopefully with the revised signature.
John DeWitt and John Austin Stokes both have been looking at this as I put it together. Teresa, the city attorney, has helped us tremendously with this. I've originally formulated, I shot it to her. She cleaned it up, put some clauses in there that needed to be put in there. And then these two have been helping me with little things along the way. So I think we're pretty much ready as soon as we find out with TechStop for sure what we're gonna need in signatures there, so that we can complete the signatory page, and then we can bring it back and make sure everybody agrees with it. Basically, it's just an agreement that says we're gonna share information, we're gonna plan together.
So you all right, John?
Yes, sir, it's short, just to the point. I'll take it to the transit board in August, and then we bring it back here. And Teresa was a huge help on the city MOU too.
Oh, yes, Judge Amber.
She's a jewel. She's a real jewel.
I don't know who hired her, but he ought to
I
be.
did.
I
hired her.
Whoever it was deserves it.
She is a jewel right there. All right, so this one then will be coming back in Austin, and you'll fine tune it, John.
Yeah.
And anything you need, you'll talk to the board, we'll make a decision there. And you'll bring it back to us next month.
Yes, sir.
All right. Number 7, representative reports. We'll start with Daniel Valenzuela of the city of San Angelo, or
I do defer to Shane Kelton.
okay, Mr. Kelton.
Finally quit raining, so we're starting to catch up on potholes. Not quite, but we're getting there. Do good on that side, on the maintenance end of it. We will, the last week of this month, everything's ready to let for MLK, for the recon rehab on it. So we'll get it out the door and get it let, and so hopefully start construction this winter. Have 3 other of our rehab projects that are just about ready to hit the streets. So we're actually making progress. So we ought to start, as long as we get contractors and get everybody lined up, we ought to start making a mess here real quick and pissing everybody off.
Part of the job.
Yeah.
John DeWitt, what do you have from stateside?
Well, the big highlight is that last week we brought the Sherwood Lake contract, when we received bids on it, won't be formally under contract until the commission does their part at the end of this month. So, but the low bidder was Reese Albert. It went for, I think, $3.7 million roughly, which is about $500,000 over our estimate in our budget on, but we can cover that, and we're set. We got to, sit down with Reese Albert and figure out how it's going to go on, and we really suspect at the earliest anything started until what time, roughly October, so maybe later than that, just because of timing. So we'll have to see, but we're underway with that. So that's been a focus of this group for quite a while, and the chamber as well. So that's that one to cross the line. At least that particular line. There's some more, but let's see, Tom, what else I do?
Well, the paving right out our front door here is, they've applied for an air permit with TCEQ for their hot mix plant. Since that's approved, they'll be moving hot mix plant going, so hopefully mid-August will be laying the mix out. From here all the way to Smith Creek.
What's the timeframe for the construction time of that project?
Oh, it'd be about 60 days after they start. Yeah. It's gonna go pretty fast, pretty fast. They've already done the slope stuff, you know.
All
So
concrete work.
Right, they've done all that. And that's really neat, so that'll solve a lot of it.
Citizens ought to be happy.
Once
Yes.
we're out of their way.
Esteban? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I cut you off, John.
No, I was making change.
Oh, okay. Esteban, what you got from the county, sir?
I don't have Rick Bacon to defer to, so.
Yeah.
Not a lot going on. I do know we're real excited. We should finish up the next 60 days, some of the search grant money that the legislature appropriated the last legislative session, and we're a little late getting it on the ground. The weather delays got us through last year, couldn't get to it. And I call it the city of Great Creek. At one point in time, I looked at what the population of the school district was there, and it was ranked in like the 34th percentile of municipalities in the state of Texas. But I think it's gonna really help the major thoroughfare through Great Creek, so we're glad to get that done. Other than that, we're just still trying to work through preliminary designs of something that we can afford, get it within budget on the detention center out on the east side. So I think there's been some interaction trying to get some zoning changes to some things down there.
And there again, that kind of fits in with our planning for that quarter segment of extension to the north, to the north of the Empire.
We're trying to interact, and what we're doing, make sure that it provides at least a base to move on with that side of the highway for all of the other future projects. So glad to be a part of it.
And we've got progress in every part of town. We'll have everybody in the county mad at us. John Austin, what you have at country back?
Vince, do you have anything? Just some good news to share. We've for this new fiscal year, we've been funded to do some purchase service for folks elderly and folks with disabilities in both the rural and the urbanized areas. So we're pretty excited about that. That should allow us to be able to meet, reach some of those gaps that currently exist in what service we're providing. Additionally, we were funded for a coordinated call that we went out for to do a feasibility study for maintenance, in-house maintenance. So, that should open the door and pave the way to ultimately having at least a 3 to 4 bay shop that can provide some in-house maintenance, which we're currently doing with vendors, and possibly get this adjacent area paved to park our vehicles there as well, provide more parking here. So, as part of that call for projects, we're also getting some technology pieces for our shelter, which we're currently getting up to speed. So hopefully we'll be able to invite you all to have a meeting, in the building right here and start with stuff.
Might also remind Daniel, since he's here, that there was some problems when we started working on this shell building, some things we did not expect. So there's a lot of extra things that we have to do. And Jude was told that when he got his permits in next week, it would take about 10 days to get these permits approved.
Okay.
So we have an August 31 completion date on this shell building. Isn't that what he said?
Yes, that's correct.
I told him I thought he was a bit optimistic on his 10 days.
We're pretty good, but.
Anyhow, boss, 10 days is what he was told. And also, Vince also made in our meeting yesterday, talking about the bus stops in our city. So this is something else that we are really moving toward, and that's been something that this board has been interested in. So that's something else we need to continue pushing.
Yeah, we're excited about that. We've been working with Shane and
Yes.
folks. Hopefully we'll get that up. and going.
And I do want to sing Vince's praises again. He has been so responsive and very immediate. I've had several issues that have developed that I've sent directly to him within the same day. They're resolved, so I'm highly appreciative. Thank you for doing that.
It's the way we want it to work. Thank you, Vince. Michael Libby, I know you've got some news,
I have
sir.
got a lot of things going on, but I'm gonna keep it really brief. Let's see if I can do it. Shall we? We are very glad to be able to publicly release the name, the identity of Dan Koenig, who is gonna be our new president. Dan is a great man. We are really, really pleased that the search committee found him, and that he accepted the position. He is gonna be joining us on August the 8th. Right now, he for the past many years. He's got a lot of chamber experience, but he's been running a Catholic school up in Overland Park, Kansas. And so his demeanor is one that is very gentle. He's very, very passive guy, very mild, very, very intelligent. And he's gonna gel really well with the community. And so we're really pleased about that. But we've got a lot of things going on in the world of expos. We have got, I'm gonna list them off. We have got the Legislative Summit coming up. We have got the Governor's Small Business Forum in October coming up. We have got the Solar Power and Wind Exposition coming up in August 30 and 31st. And then finally, we've got the Business Expo. So there's 4 right there. So staff is definitely hopping. And we're just continuing to enjoy working with companies that are from outside the state and some from outside the nation that we have been talking to and working with. And it's just amazing how the Concho Valley is just so attractive, and as it begins to get more and more visibility on the national stage. I mean, we get calls now weekly from all over the United States, and so I think it's just a mixture of outreach through advertising and just kind of a word of mouth. It's the best advertiser that there is. So anyway, that's all I got for my member report.
Thank you, Mr. Lenny. I guess that takes care of item number 7. Moving on to item number 8, which is discussion and review of organizational reports. Director's monthly staff activities report. Nathan, you're on, sir.
As you can see by our activities report, we've been rather busy. One of the things that I want to point out to this board, because it was a concern, was the indirect cost and fringe, which has been a concern now for some time. We are finally wrapping that up thanks to city finance and budget department and everybody else on the block. We have found out that for the most part, our indirect costs were correct. Wendy and I discovered along with finance that at about the time that Sarah left, there was some double charging of some things to TechStop. And we're working now with Joe to see how we're gonna rectify that. But we're gonna get that finished, get it put to bed, get it out of the way, because we know we're gonna be coming up for an audit this year. So that will finally be off of our plate and everything will be correct. We're also looking, we had our financial analysis meeting with Daniel and with the finance staff, and we looked at it and we decided we have way too many accounts out there. We're causing the city too much work for what we are. For just 2 people, there's a lot of work out there the city has to do that they're not doing for other departments. And so we've been working with Joe to try to figure out, okay, how can we clean this up? How can we streamline it, make it so that the city's effort is not such a burden on them, especially on finance, because where everybody else is automated, they're keeping track of everything we do on an Excel spreadsheet as well as their automated system. So we're getting ready to collapse all that and streamline it, cut down as many of our accounts as we possibly can, so that not only is the city more streamlined in their efforts, but also so that it's a lot cleaner and a lot easier for us to look at and decide what's going on. So that has been probably one of the biggest things that we've been able to accomplish since our last board meeting. And at the next board meeting, I'll be bringing all the results of that once we've figured out everything with Joe and TechStop. I'll be bringing that report in so you can see exactly what was overcharged, what wasn't overcharged. One of the big things was fringe, and we found out that the city's not really charging us fringe. They were charging us, well, it was fringe, but basically what they did was years ago, they were banking all of our fringe. They were banking holidays, vacations, and all that. Well, very few people were here long enough to actually receive a payout out of that. So nothing ever happened until DeRay left, and then all of a sudden, we were faced with that. We have not billed Tech Stop for that yet. So, since it was banked, then we're not going to bill them for that because they've already paid it, so that they're not double billed. And then, what our thought is from going forward is they're not gonna bank anything. We're gonna bill vacation, holiday, sick leave as it's incurred, just like it should be. And that's another thing where the city will now be able to streamline and spend much less time on what's going on with us. So there are a lot of things we wanna do directly. We've had some instances in the past, I know you all saw a fringe or indirect cost that starts out at 14% and ends up at 34%, and we found out what it was a estimate shortage on indirect costs previous year. So then that had to be added in. Well, instead of just billing it, what they did was they added it into direct costs for the following year, which made the indirect costs look even higher than what they should have been.
What caused the shortage?
The estimate of the indirect costs didn't come out the same as the actual indirect costs spent because of, for one thing, a raise that the city took, so that increased the cost. And for the other thing, there were some additional duties that took place that ended up taking more time for the city than they had originally estimated they would take. So now I've talked to Joe, and he really doesn't see a problem with it as long as we explain what it is. If there is a shortage in the future, then what we're gonna do, instead of adding it to the next year's indirect cost to make it look absolutely crazy, we're gonna just direct bill it and get it out of the way and pay for it. And then we'll go on just like we should. Our indirect costs, we should be able to know what they're gonna be every single year. So we're gonna clean that up as well. So it's been rather involved, but we're finally gonna get this thing wrestled down and cleaned up so that in the future, we can all count on what this is all gonna be. Public involvement, we've been working with, one of the new things that we're working with is Concho Valley Workforce Development Board. There's under map 21, there's a ladders of opportunity requirement, which a lot of the transportation providers have not taken advantage of. And it's something that we're supposed to include in our plans. So this is something that I went to their development board, I talked to them. This is something that they're very interested in because it's all about giving people the opportunity to actually get to an opportunity, to get to that place of business, or to get out to apply for a job or whatever it may be. So we're going, in fact, I'm taking Bailey from CDTV with me on the 26th. We're going to Austin for a peer group meeting on ladders of opportunity. We'll be coming back. She'll be briefing you all, and then I think we'll all see a little clearer what opportunities are there, because there's some funding available for this. So this is something that needs to be taken care of. I'll be going back to the development board, talking to them about it, because this is something that's right down their alley, and it's something they wrestle with every single day. So then maybe we can get workforce, CDTV together and create some real opportunity. So that's one of the big things with our public involvement that we've been doing. Training, training just seems to fall in our lap every single day. We've got webinars coming across every single day, and we try to get to as many of them as we possibly can. It's created a little bit of problem for one of the assistant city managers, but I think I've cleared that up. He was getting way too many phone calls. But I think I cleared that one up. We've cleaned up all of our tasks. We've been working on our UPWP. So We've gotten that to TxDOT. TxDOT has come back. They only wanted us to add 2 lines to our UPWP. So we're gonna get those 2 lines stuffed in there. We'll get it back to TxDOT. And then I think we're gonna be in great shape. And we'll bring that back next board meeting for the board's approval. We'll send it out ahead of time once we have everything in where TxDOT wants it. We'll be electronically sending that to all of you so that you can review it. So the next board meeting, we can approve the UPWP and put that one together. Then we can get started on our new transportation demand module and then go on to the new long-range plan, which we're behind on, but we'll get through it, I'm sure. So that's where our activities have been spent this last month. It's been a lot of fun. Wendy and I have had a good time. And unfortunately, we haven't gotten our public participation plan cleaned up yet, but we'll work on that once the fires are out. Then the next thing on my list is policy board and TAC attendance. We gave you the sheets that show what the attendance is. The attendance has actually been pretty good. Yeah. See? It's the only place you can do that.
I had to give you all something positive.
We've only had a problem with one TAC committee member. We've talked to him, and he just doesn't have the time for it, so we'll deal with that. The TAC committee has been re-energized. The last meeting we had was really positive. There was a lot of energy in the room with talks about redoing our planning and with opportunities that we want to see here in the future. We had a directors meeting with the city yesterday, and I was explaining to Daniel and the rest of the directors, we have to go out and we have to do a needs assessment for the metropolitan planning area, which includes a little bit of the county. But this time, instead of going out and just doing a study on what kind of bus service is needed and what streets need to be repaired and what sidewalks don't have wheelchair access, we really want to make this an extremely comprehensive needs assessment. We want to include the linkage between transportation and health. We want to include transportation in the workplace. We want to include the highways, the streets, the sidewalks, which is, as you all know, has been something that's been a big public outcry for some time. So we want to include all this stuff. AJ has sent me some email lately and given me even some more ideas. But we're going to be I'm going to be coming to you the next meeting and asking for your permission to put together a committee. And I want to go outside of the norm for this committee so that we get something that is really public involved and that is really of a concern and hopefully will bring some benefit to the community as a whole and not just what we normally do. So it's going to be large, it's going to be extensive, but if we can get the right group together, we can come up with the right things we're looking for. I think we will come out of it with something that not only we can use here, city departments can use, Concho Valley Transit can use, county can use. Like everybody will be able to look at it and there will be something there for them, as well as the citizens, no matter where or what their status may be. So that's our next step. And TAC is all on board with it. They think it's a great idea. So that's the direction we're going to go. Financial expenditure spreadsheet. It's all pretty simple and pretty much what you're used to seeing every single month. We haven't had anything out of the ordinary.
So the fringe adjustment resulted in net gain of $23,000. I'm looking at those right.
Right. because we won't be banking at Flint.
Right.
Future discussions or actions, before we get into that, we're gonna be looking, and hopefully I can rely on you all to give us some direction as to people, for this public involvement that we wanna do, people that you are sure are going to have your interest at heart, as well as the other business people, all of TxDOT, all the citizens, all the departments of the city, transportation, and then we'll rope in the medical and everybody else. So that's something that I want to bring to the next board meeting, as well as these other reports I've been talking about, so I can get some input. So it's something that I'd really like y'all to be thinking about.
When do you wanna, what's your vision for a kickoff date for the formation committee?
I would like to start forming this committee at the latest by the 1st of September, but I'm trying for the middle of August.
Okay.
It's all gonna depend on whether, because once I get some guidance from you all, as far as what you want, I can start gathering those people, and then when the TAC committee comes, we'll already have a list of some, and then we can get their help, and we can go out and seek more, so that hopefully we'll have this put together and ready to kick off the 1st of September.
That guy?
That's all I've got, sir.
All right. That takes care of number 8. Number 9 is opportunity for members of the policy board, staff, to recommend topics of future discussions. Anyone have anything? Anything we need on another agenda? I'd like to introduce Harry Thomas. Harry is the new single member 3 council member. We just set him last month, and we're already assigning him. He will be my proxy. So if I'm not here, Harry will be sitting here. And I want everybody to know who Harry is. Anything else that needs to be on the future agenda, any discussion items? Next meeting, August 11, 2016 at 8:30 a.m. Everyone satisfied with that?
Yes, sir.
Then I will accept the motion to adjourn. So moved. Second? Aye. We're through. What time is it, Lindy?
9:02.
9:01, and this meeting is over.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Well, how are you? All right. Are you getting ready to go back to the office and concentrate on the road work? Well, you had fun out there.
oh, it's
Actually, well, it's funny, I was listening off all the exposed summits again.
Yes, sir.
I can't believe I forgot